Hi all, this is Skate, and it's time for a review on the T-2020. Now, you'd be forgiven for thinking the T standard for test, and you'd be forgiven for thinking the T standard for tank. It doesn't. I can actually tell you, as a matter of fact, the T stands for turd. So, hi all, this is Skate, and this is a review on the Turd 2020, because it is. I sound like I'm being harsh. Let's start with some positives. I don't think it looks bad. I think it actually looks quite aggressive. It's got a nice mechanism on the top, which obviously spits out the shells, and it's got some spaced armour over the turret. Cool. That's the positives wrapped up. Now on to some negatives. I sound like I'm being harsh, but if you've bought this tank, you possibly already know what I mean. Now, I am not a huge fan of the Tier 8 122mm anyway. I find the gameplay a little bit on the stagnant and a little bit unexciting side. But there's a lot of 128mm heavy tanks at Tier 8. And in my opinion, this is by far the worst. Which is a bit of a shame, actually, because in concept and on paper, it sounds brilliant. We've taken an IS-5 hull, and we've stuck an ST-1 turret to it and given it some spaced armour. That's what it sounds like, and that's how it's explained. In reality, what's actually happened, and this is my biggest gripe with it, we've taken an IS-5 hull, we've stuck a stock ST-1 turret on it, and we've put 10mm spaced armour on it. Also, that stock turret should have 170mm of armour on the cheeks. You'd be forgiven for thinking this did as a result. You'd be wrong. It's actually only got 140 on the front gun mantlet, and on top of that, it's only got 100 on the cheeks. So it's got that little bit of spaced armour, and then straight behind it, it's just 100mm. In other words, you're going to get penetrated quite a lot in it, and that's quite frustrating, because if you think of an IS-5, it's actually got a very good turret. And if you think of an IS-3, it's got a very good turret. Most of the 122s, an IS-6, granted it's got those weak spots right next to the gun, but aside from that, and they are small weak spots, they got great turrets. That's one thing they all have going for them. This thing, I actually cannot work it out in my head, and I really didn't enjoy playing this at all. But this is the part I cannot work out. You've given it a heavier turret with less armour, and because of that, you've actually sacrificed some mobility. I don't see the logic. The DPM, by the way, is identical. The gun is absolutely identical to that of an IS-5. So basically, you've got a heavier turret slowing the tank down with less armour. No. It does not make any logical sense. I mean, it just felt horrible, in my opinion. You get out of an actually, anyone who's bought it, just try it. You're bound to have an IS-5 if you've actually forked out 15 quid for this. Get in an IS-5, take it for a spin, get back out, get in this, and you will feel just how sluggish this feels in comparison, which is madness, because it shouldn't. If anything, you should have better mobility, because the turret is lighter. But you don't. Because apparently the turret with less armour is heavier. I can't work it out. And I was actually quite excited to go, ooh, it's been a long time since I reviewed a premium tank the day it came out. It has. Well, I had that 6-month stint, and prior to that I wasn't hugely active, so it has been a while. So for me, I was like, yeah, I'm looking forward to this. Get in the tank. Wargame gave it to me a couple of days early to test on my contributor account. I'm going to have good fun with this. And what the hell was that? What is that tank? It doesn't even make any sense. Don't get me wrong, I haven't performed bad in the tank, but I cannot see anything it excels at. I mean, for example, in that game, any heavy tank I was in would have performed, in my opinion, exactly the same. It's just the circumstance. The next one is over 4,000 damage, and if you actually watch it, any other tank could have performed the same, if not better, in that circumstance. Heavy tank I'm comparing now. It's just, so you can get good games, there's no disputing that, but you'll get penetrated the turret a fair bit. As a result, I just found it pure frustration. I mean, I mentioned I'm not a huge fan of the 122mm Tier 8 playstyle. At Tier 8, I'd much rather play some other tanks, because there are so many other options. But that being said, I don't mind the IS-5. I put up a Resentite game on this channel in the IS-5. I enjoy when I play it. It's just when I'm picking it, I won't go, do you know what? I'm going to go jump in the IS-5. I'd rather go, ooh, T-49 or YAG 8.8. Something with a bit more of a unique playstyle. I just didn't find this enjoyable. I really didn't. I just found it sluggish. I found it frustrating. And do you know what? If you're in an IS-5, I'm picking this on this constantly because it's the biggest competitor for this tank. But if I was taking my IS-5, I would try and hide the front lower area of the hull in front of something, face directly on, and just sit there going, haha, you can't get my lower plate. I have a pike which is stupidly troll, and my turret is rock solid. Granted, you may get a couple of shots in, but it's going to be hard to penetrate me. In this, I can try the same tactic and go, damn, it's just going to go through my turret. And it just makes me think, why would you buy it as a result when you could pick up an IS-5 or the IS-6 or work up the tech tree to the IS-3 if you haven't already? Now I know there is the old, I'm a collector, I want every tank. I was once like that too. I'm not anymore. Probably because of tanks like this. And the cost. I played Blitz since, 2016 I think. Actually, I think it's before, whenever the game first came out. And I bought every tank for a couple of years straight. And then after that, I just kind of went, no. Now, I'm not saying don't buy tank if you don't want to buy the tank, but what I'm saying is you're going to be wasting your money if you buy the tank. And that's my honest opinion, and thus I'm entitled to it. And I got to give Wargaming credit even. I contacted one of the guys in Wargaming, and I went, is this correct? You've said it's got an ST1 turret, but yet it's missing 70mm of armour from the stock turret. But it's slower as a result. Has somebody made a mistake? And obviously they don't know. There's so many different people who do different jobs, so on and so forth. But honestly, it doesn't make any sense as to why you'd make it slower with a lesser turret. The logic is backwards, and there is so many options to play this sort of playstyle at Tier 8. You just wouldn't waste 50 quid on this. You could buy yourself an IS-4 and have a huge amount of change. IS-4? IS-6. You see my point, hopefully. There are many options of this playstyle. This isn't unique to a playstyle. If you were to go, oh, it's the Scorpion G, I'm like, yeah, it's got quite an enjoyable playstyle, and there's not many tanks which share exactly the same playstyle at that tier and can make you credits. But this thing, there's so much competition out there. Yeah, it wouldn't and it won't have a home in my garage. If you offered me one, my answer would be, can I swap it, please? Can I have the gold value instead, please? It makes credits. It's 122 mil. It's slower. It's just not worth it. Genuinely. What a fun review, eh? I gotta be honest. No, I can't. I cannot. I was going to say, I got to be honest, it's not actually that bad. It is. It actually is, in my opinion. You're sacrificing mobility for a turd of an armour. It's just a turd. It's the turd 2020. I think if you've made it this far into my rambling and moaning, I summed up the tank with its name at the very, very start of this video. I have nothing else to add, really. There's nothing new and exciting this tank brings. In fact, like I said, it brings a lesser quality version of what's already available in umpteen quantities at Tier 8. Yeah, there we go though. I hope you've enjoyed this video, guys. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye bye.